Well, this is never the best lighting, but hello. Yeah, I was going to film a different video, but then I decided to read a book that I've been savoring. So I read it last night, right? And I definitely had fun. But I think everyone who has ever read this book, I am puzzled, I am perplexed. I know I read a story, but I don't know exactly how it goes. And not because it's a badly written one. No. Cains Jawbone. So yeah, picked this one up. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I saw a video by Jack Edwards where he began his journey of attempting to solve this puzzle. So this came out originally in 1934. It's written by Torquemada, which was a pseudonym. Let's see. In 1934, the Observer's cryptic crossword compiler, Edward Powys Mathers, aka Torquemada, released a novel that was simultaneously a murder mystery and the most fiendishly difficult literary puzzle ever written. Officially, there have been 3 people that have solved this puzzle. Officially, I'm gonna say that because I wouldn't be surprised if someone has made sense of this, has solved it, and just didn't tell anyone. There are people like that. And it's really, really interesting. It's not a hard read. Like, the words make sense. And there are bits and bobs and parts and pieces that feel like they fit and kind of go in sequence. But again, this is a literary puzzle. The point is that it doesn't quite trying to explain this book. It's like trying to solve a puzzle that only exists in words and you don't have the picture. That's this book. And I kind of love it. I love it. Definitely gave 5 stars. I haven't sold shit. I haven't sold a single thing. And I kind of don't care. Because this is an experience. I can understand why people are consumed by this, why they become kind of obsessed with it. Because it's so interesting. Because on one hand, you can definitely fit some pieces together. You can figure out, I'm sure, some kind of timeline. But it's all the rest. Because the allusions to so much literature, to poetry, to classic novels, to artists, and I'm pretty sure that there were some contemporary events that were alluded to at some points in this text, but also so many other things, which should not have surprised me because the author of this was a maker of puzzle words. So that's, I feel like, quite a big clue. Now mind you, I'm an Icelander. I live in Iceland. My primary language is Icelandic. I am born in 1984. I am born 50 years after this book originally came out. I do not have the cultural little know-hows. I don't know half of the literature. I feel like I don't know what events were taking place that are like being alluded here. Like, I found myself stopping at one point and googling like name months, because at one point the current narrator, because I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 if not 3 narrators, which is very strange for a 100-page book, but it's a puzzle, mentions their name month. Of course it's 2024, so it's been 90 years. So I googled it, and I think the narrator might have been named Thomas. There's also another, which I'm pretty sure is named Alexander, because he keeps talking about Pope Alexander, and apparently they were 8 or 9 8. I think there were 8. Majority of them from Italy, so he's probably an Italian named Alexander. And then there's another called Thomas, and at least one dog. No, wait, there's 2 dogs. At least 2 dogs. And the central character, Henry, although his name might be Henry Alexander or Henry Thomas, who had at least 3 wives, and potentially a killer if we are to trust the narrator talking about him, but we don't know who the narrator is, so we can't really trust the narrator who we don't even know the identity of. There's also like a character named Flora, mentioned at least 2 if not 3 times, separate occasions. We know that there are 6 murders because it's mentioned on the back. I saw someone on Goodreads mention that there's also 6 murderers, but I'm not buying that. I think there's maybe 2. And I'm like, oh. But I really do love this. Also, I just opened up on page 11, and I'm fairly certain that there were some murders committed in Ireland that someone named De Quincey insists don't count, but like that current narrator who is talking about Henry in the second person thinks that they do. I don't know. And I kind of like that I don't know. Like this is also a puzzler. There's also a little bit of Friends at some point, so I've never studied Friends. I don't know any Friends, so I will need to Google that to figure out what is going on. If it's a quote, it's probably a quote to some literature, some saying, something. I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know. I've never even seen a puzzle, like crossword puzzle by Torquemada, but I feel like I've seen that name so often throughout the years. I'm like, it's ringing some bells. Not to mention that there were a few things in here that did ring some bells. Like, obviously, my crush brother is a fairly clear clue. That would be Sherlock Holmes. There's also quite a bit about flowers at one point. There's one character who keeps talking about flowers, and a character named Flora. Also, like, every single page looks like this. It's an equal length. There's a block of text. There's no indentation, just this block of text. So you don't really know, you have no sense of what the flow of the original story is. So that's another part of the puzzle that you would need to aesthetically, I suppose, add in. I did also see with another Goodreads reviewer that the copy that they had is actually printed on like cards, so they can just take the cards and put them down in their order. But I have the book, and the intention is that you cut it apart, which is something that I've never done with a book. I have never cut a book up. So that is a thing. Oh yeah, also there was a competition. Oh right, you also need to figure out the names of the characters. The puzzle is puzzling me, and I wanted to puzzle you with it as well. I would be really interested to know if anyone watching this has read this book, what I think about it, if you've tried solving it, because I think most of us have at least dipped our toes into it. As soon as we start reading, it's like, good lord, what is this? Whatever answer you came up with, because I feel like the story is itself pretty clear abstractly, but again, I would be really interested to like read it in the correct order and with the answers. That would be fun. That would actually be fun. Like, also just the title of it, Cains Jawbone. I mean, a title is picked because it has something to inform on the story. That's not always But this is a puzzle, so the title must mean something. Cain is, from a biblical, I suppose, most likely from the Bible, the biblical Cain and Abel, different pronunciation. Also jawbone. Cain's jawbone. Why a jawbone? Anyway, I will hopefully see you in some other video of mine, and yeah. Tell me if you ever read this book, what you thought of it, and if you feel like you have a handle on what the abstract concept of the story is. Like, this is a murder mystery. There are apparently 6 murder victims, and yeah. So hopefully see you some other video of mine. Until then, take care. Bless.